Hey guys, my name's Jonathan Reich. I'm a licensed CPA in the state of Louisiana, and because I'm a licensed CPA, I help a ton of small businesses keep their books, pay their bills, pay their employees, yada yada, this, that, and the other. Whatever comes across my desk, I'm always there to help out when I can. And so part of me helping out is obviously being good at my job, which means saving time and optimizing where I can. And so I do have a bookkeeper. She's great. She enters expenses. She does accounts receivable. She helps manage bills, invoices, expenses, things like that. So, but I can't just like push all my workload onto her. And so whenever I can, I'm trying to use technology to optimize my day to day. And that can look like anything from just, sending emails and text messages instead of like actually taking paper documents to someone, or using something like a bill payment provider platform in order to streamline the process of paying bills on behalf of my clients or even my own firm. And so there's a couple different platforms out there. I have found that I really prefer using Melio, but some of the other bigger players in the space might be like Bill.com or Ramp or Tipalti or AvidXchange or any of those. But today I wanted to show you what it's like to use a bill payment platform and why I, as a CPA, really have come to just adore this setup, because it just makes my life easier, which means it makes my clients' life easier. So I'm going to do a quick little walkthrough using Melio. I've got some docs that you guys can't see on the screen over there on this window. These are just some invoices that I am ultimately going to end up uploading. So when you log into Melio, this is the first thing you're going to see. This is the home page, and typically you won't see me in the bottom right-hand corner, and so that's a one-off. So Melio is an accounts payable platform, but it is also an accounts receivable platform. If you do want to use it to bill your customers, you do have that option. But today we're going to talk about the accounts payable side of things. So you'll navigate over here, you'll hit pay. So you got a bill in the mail, let's go ahead and get that sucker paid. We don't like to let our bills pile up. You'll click on new payment. Excuse me. And this is the thing that I like the most. So you can do it the hard way, where you can just enter your bills, or you can grab from your bill list over here. I'm just going to grab one of these, and you can just drag and drop. It's that easy. So Melio is going to use OCR to recognize that bill and read it. It's going to put a business name, it's going to put an amount, invoice number, stuff like that. And so occasionally we'll run into problems. And in this instance, I've chosen this one on purpose because this has a pretty large header right here. So it's going to say, hey, I found a difference. Go ahead and tell me what you want to do with it. That's all this is asking. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell it to add that item. So it got the vendor name correct. It is Smith Ready Mix. So SRM, Smith Ready Mix. I'm going to go ahead and drop this off here. Once again, I chose this one on purpose because it does have a difficult and confusing logo and header there. And then once we've sent all of that through, I'm just going to click Save. And that's it. The bill's populated. Obviously, you're going to want to audit and double check. Make sure that it's not trying to load up a bill for, I don't know, tens and tens of thousands of dollars if your accounts payable typically isn't that amount. And the one I did choose was $1,210. And then you just click Continue to Pay right here. Oh, I'm going to struggle. I need to keep moving myself around here. And then it's going to say, how do you want to pay? And I want to pause on this screen particularly for just a second because this is a really nice screen. Not because it has great UI or anything like that, but you have the option of paying via credit card or bank account. And in my experience, Smith Ready Mix does not take credit cards for payment. However, Melio will allow you the option to use a credit card, which is really great if you're tightly managing cash and you know you've got like a big payment coming your way. You're just like, I just need one more week to stretch. I don't always recommend my clients to use credit cards because you can get yourself in a hairy mess pretty quick. But if you've got some significant accounts receivable coming your way, go ahead and use that credit card, bridge that gap for that short time. Make sure you can pay your bills, make sure you can make your payroll, make sure you can make your rent. Use the credit card, get paid, pay your vendors, keep everybody happy. So I'm just going to click on card. You're going to input your card details. I am not, because I don't want you guys to see my credit card information. But once you enter your card details, it's going to say what day do you want it to pay, and then it'll ask you if you have your QuickBooks hooked up to it, it'll ask if you want to map your QuickBooks and push it to a certain expense account. And that's it. It's that easy. So like literally, I just want to make sure you guys understand how easy it is. You click the button here to create a payment, you drag over an invoice, and then you select your payment option. I don't have any payment options entered, so it's just one click. That's how quick you can pay your bills. There's also other ways to pay. If you want to pay via check, Melio can post a check. I do recommend my clients to pay by check when it suits them and when it makes sense, but more on that later. And that's how easy it is. And then you can also load up multiple bills at one time and then do a batch check run if you would like. That's another option. But that's it. That is the benefit of a bill payment platform provider. It's instantaneous. Whereas if I was in QuickBooks, I would have had to upload that bill, entered all my expense accounts. I would have needed to make sure I had the terms correct. I would have needed to actually print and manually send out that check or pay an additional fee to Intuit for their QuickBooks bill pay platform, and then go into that module and pay it from there, set it when to pay, how I want to pay it. It's just really nice to have it all under one umbrella. And so that's how you would pay a bill in Melio. Like I said, it's really growing on me. I think Melio is very fairly priced. You can pay, you have the option of unlimited ACHs, things like that, depending on the payment plan that you're like subscribed to. So there are tons of options. I did want to briefly talk about Ramp and Bill.com just because they're some of the other players in the space. And I always like to kind of give a comparison when I can. So one of the key things about Ramp that you're going to find that's a little different than Melio, I'm going to go ahead and put myself where I belong down here, back in my corner. Ramp is really good at managing credit card expenses. And so I specifically chose Ramp because if you have a lot of corporate cards out there, like if you're running a construction company, for instance, you're going to want to use Ramp if all your foremen are driving company trucks and putting fuel into their vehicles. It keeps all your corporate expenses in one spot. And so it's very similar in how it works in Melio. It is an AP platform to where you can just as easily load things just as I showcase in Melio, but with the added benefit of corporate card expense management. It is a little bit more complicated of a platform. I always recommend like my mid-sized clients who use these, like, you really want to make sure you have a team of accountants, a team of bookkeepers who can help manage this and that it makes sense for you. Pricing is a little different. Ramp is typically a little bit more expensive. And then Bill.com is also similar in that you can be a small business or a mid-sized business or even a large business. I've worked with companies who are bringing in over $200 million a year and they use Bill.com. However, at that point, you are paying for the enterprise premium package. You're going to end up paying probably $1,000 a month just for Bill.com by itself. But this entity was pushing out over 1,000 invoices a month. So just tons and tons and tons of payments. And so it made a lot of sense for them to use Bill.com. They had an AP team of 3 people whose sole job was to pay the bills. But in all my time using Bill.com, I never saw it make a mistake. But Bill is very robust. It's also going to cost a little bit more. So I like Melio more than I like the other 2 platforms. One, it's easy to pick up and easy to put down. It's fairly priced. The user interface is just, it can't be beat. It's super intuitive. You just drag and drop and then click buttons. Quick, your bills get paid. You can run batch payments. You have different payment options like credit cards, ACH, wire, checks. And so it's just a really robust platform. And so I wanted to make sure that you guys got the opportunity to see how it works. And that's it. It's as easy as that. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching today. And I'm hoping to review some of these products in the future and tell y'all a little bit more about them so that you guys can run your small businesses more effectively. Thanks, guys.